Hello and welcome back, my lovelies, for more Chainsawman analysis with me, Axel Lazuli. And thanks so much for coming back to my channel for more Chainsawman content. I had so much fun in my last video that I couldn't wait to dig into this next section. Even though this part of the story is admittedly shorter, I still have just as much, if not more, to talk about. To recap, my last video covered chapters 1 through 39, and I explored how and why Denji is so vulnerable, and how Makima exacerbates Denji's exploitability. I also asked probably what might be the most important question, which is what's holding Makima back from dealing with the gun devil herself. I'll definitely have more to say on Denji's vulnerability this time around in chapters 40 through 52 as well. I'm going to be focusing heavily on exploring Fujimoto's characterization of Lady Reze. So without further ado, this is my analysis and thoughts on the Bomb Girl section of the story. Let's do this. Before we continue, I want to give a huge shout out to my channel members. You guys make this possible and fun. I hope that you guys like the emotes. I got new ones coming, and I've also got more thumbnails without the text on them on the way. And if you'd like to consider becoming a member, I have a new 99-cent tier that you guys can use to join the Sushi Cat Cafe. Thank you guys so much, and this video's shout out goes to TCG Mike. Thank you so much for being a channel member. I really appreciate you, dude. Not only do you continue to motivate me and lift my spirits, but thanks to your continued support, I am able to make this video. Thank you, TCG Mike. Now back to the video. Chapters 40 through 52 are like a perfect slice of cake. They're warm, moist, and then gone. Let's talk about what's sweet. First, chapter 40 opens with a scene that further builds on a topic I've been especially interested in Fujimoto exploring: whether or not Denji has a human heart. There's more evidence in the opening that he does, given the fact that he's seen reflecting on the issue himself and feeling that he has regular feelings just like everybody else. He feels like he can be impressed by the beauty of flowers and feel good about being able to give to charity. It then begins to rain down on our protagonist, and there's a brief moment reminding us that Beam, a Sharkman devil, exists. But Denji tells him to stay out of sight or they'll have to walk in the back alleys again. Denji starts to get rained on and runs into a nearby phone booth to stay dry, understandably. Moments later, a girl enters the phone booth with him and she's seen crying. From the first moment I saw Reze, I had minor alarm bells. Partially because it feels like Denji can't catch a break, and there's almost no trustworthy strangers in this series that we've seen so far, and also because she tells Denji that she's crying because he looks like her dog who just died. In addition to this series giving me a constant case of stranger danger creeps, Reze immediately sets off my mental radar here because people who compare Denji to a dog have often been bad news. I half expected her to immediately knife him then and there, but then there's this sweet scene between them where Denji does this magic trick and she seems touched by the gesture. She promises to thank him if he stops by the cafe that she works at downtown. It's a charming little place called Crossroads. Over the next few chapters, Denji begins spending more time with his newfound friend, getting closer to Reze. We see various scenes of public safety monitoring for more devils, and there's a background rumbling of oncoming danger, especially at the end of chapter 42. This chapter closes with a guy describing his past murder feats while making a deal with the Typhoon Devil to go and get Denji's chainsaw heart, which all of the devils have had a hard-on for lately for reasons. Frankly, the fact that Fujimoto hasn't revealed to us why Denji's chainsaw heart is so important is really upping the suspense, and it's killing me. The last of the man's dialogue lines are transposed over Denji and Reze's face as he describes targeting a person's loved ones to get them to comply, as if this is some kind of new tactic under the sun. Of course, I had to keep reading after that. I was hook, line, and sinker. I knew then that this reading session wasn't going to be ending in parts. I had to go and read it all in one go after that. At this point though, Fujimoto drew me in however, and by offering a different source of danger and implying that Reze was going to somehow be in trouble because she was getting so close to Denji, I did admittedly let my guard down for just a moment, and I saw her as maybe an actual love interest, an actual human girl going to school, an actual person, and not someone who, yet again, wanted to somehow harm or exploit Denji. Little did this random guy know, though, that he wasn't the first person in line for Denji's heart. In terms of characterization, Chapter 42 really drew me in and sold me on Reze's normalcy. In hindsight, this is actually truly a tragedy, given that all of the normal experiences she's been describing that Denji should be having were experiences that she, as an experiment, didn't get to have. The fact that she was projecting onto Denji how he should be living this normal life made typical everyday experiences like going to school and learning how to swim look like a luxury. I was impressed that Fujimoto managed to make me feel that way in this chapter, and with how well Chapter 42 sold me on Reze not being someone who is here to harm Denji. The chapter closes with a spread that had me totally worrying for her, as she gets cornered in the bathroom by the weird guy with the cross-eyed expression and the lines down his face. By Chapter 43 though, we begin to suspect that the gig is up. Sort of. We see that Reze isn't some helpless cafe worker. No, she twisted that guy's head on his neck easier than tearing open a chip bag. I remember feeling my eyes get wide as I screen capped and translated the pages of her singing some weird poem song. Her disguise for the reader began to fall through at that point, but like, did you guys see this coming? Like, let me know in the comments down below if you did, because I felt so betrayed. Like, I should have trusted my own instincts when I first met Reze. She was more than ordinary. My heart held on to some kind of hope though that she could or would be like a powerful ally to Denji after that, and maybe he'd move the fuck on from Makima. I don't trust that bitch and I'm not sorry about it. Of course, by the end of Chapter 43, we know the truth. Reze reveals herself as a hybrid devil like Denji, and she's confirmed to be the bomb devil. Damn it, Fujimoto, you tricked me! Ugh, I fell for it. She would have had my heart on a platter if she were after me. I thought she was normal. I love how I was made to feel paranoid and have a sense of stranger danger, only for me to maybe stop suspecting she was a monster, just for her to turn out to be a monster. Damn it, I'm not doing this again. Going forward, everyone is a possible devil in disguise, no matter how nice or hot they are. IDGAF. It's through the ongoing battle in the following chapters that we begin to get a sense of just how powerful Reze is, though. Denji can't take her down on his own, either because he doesn't truly want to or can't. So while this battle rages on over several chapters, we see Beam attempting to give assistance but ultimately failing in a way that felt comical given how tasty he looks in the scene. Chapter 50 and 51 wrapped up the fight with her, and while nobody officially died for good in this brutal conflict at this moment in time, it still felt like something was lost at the end of it when all three of them are laying on the shore. The fact that they're reflecting on how she failed to kill him because she apparently spent too much time fighting him really struck me. She claims that every expression, every blush since she met him was all a lie and a product of her training. Given just how much trauma and lack of normalcy she's been exposed to, given the implied torture and deprivation in her training in her youth, I really wonder though if all this combat, like this entire dangerous tango, might be the only way she knows how to connect with another living being. In short, this entire combat and mission for her may have been heartless, but on the edge of the danger, there was a connection between them, even if she claims it was all calculated. I love that Fujimoto doesn't answer this one for us outright. We're just left to wonder to what extent it really is all calculated. If her laughter at Denji's joke at being killed by a hottie somehow actually resonated with her, touched her, and got through to her on some level. If it's endearing to her despite the pain of their opposing realities. Even Denji questions this, pointing out that it wasn't all exactly a lie because she did in fact teach him how to swim. I really liked the fact that she taught him how to swim because I think that there's more here than just the literal meaning. To me, there seems to be an underlying meaning here that I find really poignant. She taught him how to swim emotionally too, in many aspects. His ping-ponging between his feelings for Reze and his feelings for Makima is actually a good exploration of himself and his feelings. From the way I see it, it deepened his understanding of the world, and even if it sounds absurd for him to suggest that they run away together, he somehow still feels like it's a real option on the table because of his very real feelings for her. Because they're both hybrids, because they have so much in common and so much unspoken experiences that line up in terms of how exploited they've become and how tortured they were. I love this about Reze, and I love that she breaks his neck in response to his suggestion of running away together. She's still way out of his league. The cafe owner is right. There is a reason she was teaching him how to swim, because he didn't know how, emotionally or otherwise. The water motifs in this section with the sharks, the ocean, the typhoon devil. Denji is going to need to know how to swim in stronger currents because I think this story is only going to get darker and deeper still. Reze taught Denji a lot of things, even on her way out of the narrative entirely. Even not showing up at the cafe in the end is a lesson in moving on and shipping up. I think she's gonna stick with me going forward, and admittedly, I actually did feel bad when Makima put her down at the end of this section. Did you guys feel anything about Reze being killed off? Let me know in the comments down below. So, that's Reze. Fujimoto did an excellent job with her character arc. I think the facade of her leading Denji on, but still leaving him with very real skills and character growth, shows Denji's persistence in making the best out of a shitty situation. He follows his feelings through though because he doesn't know how else to navigate the world, other than through the lens of what he's feeling in the moment right now. Even Reze has to be the one to break his neck, though one could argue she's trying to snap his neck on in the right direction, given, as she said, he'd be aiding and abetting a murderer. It would never work. Denji is living in some fantasy land thinking that he could abandon his post and run away with her. It does admittedly make him endearing, yes, but it also showcases how deep his naivety runs. It's what makes him feel like a real 16-year-old character though. It's what makes him feel vulnerable. And if Reze is 16 too, then damn. What they say about girls maturing faster than boys really shines here. I think that she did want Denji's chainsaw heart, but knew that it would never work. I would have loved to have known who put her up to this and more about what her motivations were, but so far Fujimoto's just keeping us in the dark in that aspect. All we know is that Denji's chainsaw heart is so valuable that schmucks keep coming out of left and right field of all different skill levels to keep trying to take him on. But you know what they say, just keep swimming, and the water is getting deeper. Alright guys, that's all for now. Remember to like and subscribe on your way out, and I will see you in about 2 weeks with my thoughts on the next section. Thanks for watching! Matinee!